And welcome back, YouTube. This is BoosterBox Buster here with another video. Today I'm going to share with you my top 10 favorite Dungeons & Dragons miniatures from the Night Below set. The Night Below set was the 13th set released in the original D&D pre-painted minis line, and it contained quite a lot of awesome miniatures. At this point in the line, they really started to nail a lot of fantastic miniatures, especially in the uncommon slot. And I gotta say, this was really, really hard to narrow down, because not because of the rares. The rares were honestly relatively easy to narrow down. The uncommon slot had so many great uncommons, it took a while to sort it out. And it was so hard to choose. I'm actually breaking the rules, and I'm making this a top 12. This is no longer a top 10, this is a top 12 miniatures list. On top of that, I do have to say I don't own every miniature from this set. I am missing the Frost Giant and the Dire Tiger. So those will not appear on this list, even if they are really cool miniatures. I don't personally own them, so I can't, it's not fair to say, yeah, this is a cool miniature, it's automatically going on the list if I don't own it. Because there is a difference between seeing pictures and having it in person. Sometimes pictures don't do it justice, sometimes the pictures make it look much cooler than what it is in reality. The only other really stipulation I have for this list is because I don't want it to be just completely full of rares and uncommons, I have to choose at least 2 of each rarity. So I have to choose at least 2 rares, 2 uncommons, and 2 commons to fill out this list. Honestly, if I didn't have the stipulation, it would still be a top 12 because there's just that many great miniatures. I'll do an honorable mentions list before I hit the number 1 spot, but until then, I'm ready to start sharing with you my top 12 miniatures from the Night Below set. Number 12. So we're going to get the 2 commons out of the way. So first up on this list, representing one of 2 common slots, we have the Knoll Claw Fighter. So this is a Knoll that purely uses its bare claws, its bare fist, its own personal claws to fight it. It doesn't need any weapons. It is just gonna basically run right at whatever opponent it's going for and start clawing away at it. Knock it over, clawing at its throat, chest, face, whatever it wants. Whatever's vital and open for an attack. I really like this guy's pose. He's just like ready, like classic Wolverine, like come at me, I'm ready to lunge at you, bro, type pose. Very cool. I know a lot of people don't particularly like the Knoll set made in the D&D Miniatures line, but I really like them. I think they look pretty cool. Kind of going all Rambo there, I like it. So that is the Knoll Claw Fighter. And up at number 2, or I should say not 2, number 11, we have the Dark Mantle. Honestly, probably the best common out of this set. If I can get that to read right. There we go, Dark Mantle. This is it's a small but annoying creature. It mimics stalagmites or tights, whichever are the ones that form on the ceiling of caves. Waits patiently up there for its prey to pass, and then it drops on them. It is actually very more squid-like than a solid rock, but it does have a very thin, like, rock shell to protect it from oncoming attacks. It is quick, so it is kind of an annoying little target to destroy, but once you hit it, it doesn't take much damage to kill these things. That is the Dark Mantle. Really annoying enemies that mimic Salag mites or tights, whichever is the one that grows on the ceiling of caves. Very cool. Alright, so representing the number 10 slot, we do actually have a rare. And that rare is this really cool Greater Basilisk. Often found at abandoned temples or the ruins of a forgotten city, maybe the ruins of just like a cave or a monument. These like to make a little home there and have statues of fallen warriors line its path. Because as everybody knows, stare into a basilisk's eyes, it turns to stone, very similar to a Medusa. I really love this particular miniature's look. Look at all the spikes it has going out there, the purple and the gold coloring really pops. I love the face. The face is just menacing. I mean, look at that thing. It is truly a horror of the night right there. And I love the little tongue sticking out. It is a beautiful, beautiful miniature. That is number 10, the Greater Basilisk. Alright, so number 9, we're going to hit our first uncommon. And that is the Greenspawn Zealot. This can be used for multiple miniature pieces. This could easily be used as a lizardfolk or the Greenspawn as intended. This could easily be used as a playable character or an NPC. The shiny green face there looks really, really well done. I love the armor and the cloth banner that it has wrapped around itself to represent who he's fighting for. The shield looks like a dragon's face right there, and honestly, that shield can easily be used as a weapon too. Has a pretty sharp edge. I mean, you could swing with this, and then you could swing up with the shield like a 1-2 punch. Very, very cool pose there. Honestly, this is a fantastic miniature. Has a very versatile uses, and I just love it. That is the Greenspawn Zealot. So we move on to number 8, another uncommon, and this time we have the Koatua Whip. So these serve the Archmage of the Koatua tribe, and it is fantastic what they do. These are very high ranking in their class. They look like amphibious. Not they look like They look like humanoid frogs, but they're more humanoid fish people, and they have a fantastic story behind them. I absolutely love the way that this particular character looks. I love the detail. Can easily be used as like a leader, and I absolutely love it. Could also be used as a shaman or a cleric. Honestly, whatever you need for that tribe, it could definitely be a versatile piece for it. Alright, so now we hit number 7. Number 7 is a really, really cool piece in my opinion. Alright. And a classic Dungeon and Dragon monster. A lot of people know what this particular beast is. It is a specific kind. It is the Life Leech Archuk. These are, of course, very, not the strongest of monsters, but very powerful, very filthy monsters. They love garbage. If you have a garbage pile or like a garbage a dump in a city or in a castle, these would love to roam around it. They dig themselves in, use these as like sensory tentacles to see if anybody's coming into their territory, and then boom, they'd pop out. Almost like a sandworm. Very, very satisfying, but in a garbage pile. I love the giant teeth, the giant maw in this guy. I mean, he's ready to chomp something right in half and have a very lovely snack. The tentacles growing off of him. Very, very disturbing and very cool. The spikes. This is a large and in-charge monster and would terrify any party if you ran into a group of them. So now we've hit the top 6 and we have another uncommon. At number 6, we have the Chaos Beast. I believe this is a particular, yeah, this is a large Chaos Beast in this case, but a Chaos Beast nonetheless. Chaos Beasts are basically horrors of the night. They are shapeless. They could basically morph into almost any horrifying shape that you can think of. So this is just like a pile of goop. Very reminiscent of the 3.5 Monster Manual artwork, and I love that. And when you got like a tentacle coming out of its mouth there, an eyeball on the side, just looking at it like, hey, that's kind of disturbing. Just bulbous puffs of flesh, just kind of, I mean, I can imagine this just like pulsating. I mean, if you've seen this thing, you would think it was a horror of the night and just run in the opposite direction. These things also have the ability to turn certain things they touch into goop. I mean, literally, this, if you're fighting this thing and if you lose all your hit points, this thing can literally turn you into goop. I mean, and you're gone. There's no resurrecting you once you turn to goop. A very powerful, very dangerous beast to fight. The Chaos Beast. Number 5. Now, this particular miniature doesn't get a lot of love. A lot of people don't care for it, but I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite miniatures, and you'll understand why once I explain it to you. We have the large Shadow Dragon. Now, I understand Shadow Dragons are not the most common thing. You don't see a lot of them, but I absolutely love this thing. I love the translucency of it. It's a little bit translucent, but not fully translucent. It's smoky. It definitely looks like it's not quite there. It looks kind of ethereal. The horns on the side kind of form, but not fully. I love the red piercing eyes that it has. This is a fantastic miniature piece. And honestly, you could put it down and it could be like a mage or a sorcerer or a warlock, maybe just summon something to be threatening to look like a dragon, but when you walk up to it, it's not a real dragon, it's just like an illusion and you just walk through it. So this could be used as an illusion piece in addition to an actual shadow dragon that you would have to fight. This has so many, has a lot of potential if used by the right dungeon master. That is the shadow dragon. I absolutely love this particular miniature. Alright, so now we have reached the top 4 miniatures in my list. And this next one, not a whole lot is known about this particular race, but I absolutely love this particular miniature's design. You will not use it much, but the fact that it exists for the people that do want to use one is fantastic. And of course I am talking about, if it wants to focus, please focus, the Clawborne War. This is the combination of a drow and a scorpion. You often don't see them. It's a pretty relatively rare encounter. Often only see it when you go to the deep Underdark. They are a separate race from Lolth and the Drow. They consider themselves their own separate race, even though they are part Drow. They aren't. It's kind of a confusing history with these guys, but they are. I absolutely love the look of this. I mean, the purple, going from the dark to light purple with the legs, the reddish stinger, the claws, the human face. This is a fantastic miniature. I absolutely love it. It is really, really cool. Will you ever use this? You might play D&D your entire life and never run into a creature like this, but the fact that they made one is fantastic for those that need one, or even on the offshoot that you may want to create a random playable character, although it'd be very hard with the claw arms to create a playable character with this. The option exists. I absolutely love this particular beast monster, and it looks great as a centerpiece to any D&D collection. So we have reached the top 3. And number 3 is the Skeletal Coarser. I absolutely love skeleton type miniatures, and this is one of my favorite by far. This could easily be used on some sort of battlefield on which a huge battle in the past took place, and a necromancer resurrects some of the army, and this was one of the people that charged into battle originally, died with their horse, and now they get resurrected and have a second chance to avenge their past life, or in this case, do the work of a necromancer. Once again, not one that you're probably going to use too much, because skeletons riding skeleton horses probably is not going to be too common that you're going to find a use for that, but I absolutely love it. Maybe you're storming Dracula's castle. These type of guys actually do exist in some of the Metroidvanias, so that'd be kind of cool. The skeletal work on the horse looks really, really nice. The rider looks nice. The spear, I think, is a little bit long. That could be shorter, maybe a little bit, but other than that, it is fantastic overall. That is the Skeletal Coarser. Alright, so we have reached the top 2, and I gotta tell you, these top 2 are fantastic. I think you will agree that they at least deserve to be on the top 10 somewhere. Maybe not your top 2, but on the top 10 somewhere. Next up, we have the Orc Veinbreak Rider. Essentially an orc riding a giant rhino. And I gotta say, this is fantastic. Just imagine you have a horde of orcs all getting ready to charge at their human opposition. The king's army is ready, the orcs are ready, and this guy charges the orcs into combat. This is fantastic. You could use 3, 4, 5 of them as like a charging line to kind of break through the frontline defenses of the king's army or whatever army that they're facing off against. The detail work is really well done. I love the patchwork armor put on this rhino. The double axe he's holding, so he's going to go like whoosh, 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 as he tears down whatever foes lay in his path. The rhino's going to just gore anything. I mean, this is so much fun. Could have so many different uses. And I absolutely love this particular miniature. It is cool to the next level. That is the Orc Veinbreak Rider. And the final miniature on this list will be revealed after we do the honorable mentions. Alright, so on this honorable mentions list, I actually have 4 of them. First up on the honorable mentions list, we have the Arcadian Avenger. This one was really close to making the list. If I did not have the commons rule, this would probably have replaced one of the 2 commons. I love the wings on this particular character. It looks almost steel-like, but just enough to not like steel to make it look flowing and angelic. It can be you could use it as a steel wings and make it like a mechanical angel, or you could use it as a more regular humanoid-like angel. So this has multiple versatile uses. This could be used as a playable character that wants to be an angel, or more likely a non-playable character, or maybe a opponent or an enemy that you're going to be facing. I love the armor work on this character. The double sword it's holding. Even the face is decent. This is a very well made uncommon miniature. That's honorable mention number 1. Honorable mention number 2 goes to the Icemephite. See if it'll pick up. Yep, right there. Icemephite. Now this one is really cool. It's like it's almost like an imp or a devil in terms of what it looks like, but it's completely that translucent, like blue ice-like feel, and I absolutely love it. You have the whole miniature humanoid build with the really ripped abs, muscular arms, and that little tiny face. I love the little wings on it. This is just a really cool miniature in my opinion. That is the Icemephite, and honorable mention number 2. Honorable mention number 3, and this is purely because I love the drow, goes to the Drow Enforcer Uncommon. Now this is more of a static, not so impressive looking drow. There are some better ones out there, but I do love the shield. The shield is really cool looking. You got the Spider of Lolth on there. The sword behind his head. Looks like he's in a more of a defensive kind of pose there, maybe getting ready to strike with his sword on the downswing. Really well done armor. The nice white hair. I think this is a really cool piece, but I didn't think it was quite good enough to make it on the top 12 list. And the final honorable mention is the rare Shadowbane Inquisitor. Now, honestly, I think for a fully armored miniature character, this looks really, really cool. The armor is really well ornate. I love the helmet. The helmet looks... Something about that helmet I think looks really cool. The sword is an acceptable length, not too long, but not too short. The flowing cape is always cool. A little bit flat on the color, though, for a rare. But, yeah. There's something... I didn't think this guy was quite good enough to make it in the top 12, but something about him I just needed to make him an honorable mention. I just think that this could easily be used as any, like, Captain of the Watch NPC, maybe like a King's Royal Guardsman. This could even easily be used as a playable character if somebody wants to be more of like a fully armored warrior or paladin type character. But yeah, that is the final honorable mention. And what you came here for, the number 1 miniature on Booster Box Busters Top 10 Night Below list is the Dread Wraith. That is the Dread Wraith. This is a fantastic piece of sculpting. It has that little bit of translucency which all wraiths should have. You should be able to see through it a little bit, but not completely. Has that really cool looking flowing cape like it's in the wind. I love the fact that it's holding a sword. It's out for vengeance against whoever happens to cross its path. You cannot see its face, as you should not be able to. You should never be able to see a wraith's face. And I think that this is just such a cool, such a well-crafted miniature. And it has such a cool design. And this is very versatile too. Could easily be used as ring wraiths from Lords of the Ring. You could easily use it as those. Could easily use it in a Harry Potter setting as what do they call those? The you know what your name I'm talking about from Harry Potter. I mean, this could easily be used as multiple different genres, not just D&D. This has fantastic, easily be used in a Castlevania type setting. I mean, so many different settings this could easily be thrown into. The Dread Wraith is my number 1 miniature from the Night Below set. With that being said, that concludes my top 10 list. Did your favorite make the top 10? Please let me know your top 10 list from this particular miniature set in the comments down below. I always love to read them, and I always love to see if maybe I missed one, maybe I just overlooked one that I just happened to forget about. Did you think that any of these miniatures were not deserving of a top 10 list? Please keep in mind of my setup where I keep 2 miniatures of each rarity in there. So the 2 common, 2 uncommon, and 2 rare. This time it was very easy to choose uncommons. This time it was very easy to choose commons because there's not a lot to choose from there. And uncommons made this one very difficult. I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a whole heck of a lot of fun going through these miniatures and trying to figure out which ones I really liked the best. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. This has been Booster Box Buster, and I'm signing out. Peace.